All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new episode of Movie News. This is episode 7, and we're going to do something a little different here today. I am going to add some more aspects to the update, and we're going to start off with some very notable celebrity deaths that have occurred over the last, since the last time I did a video last week, and I'm going to start covering all of this stuff. So as I find more and more entertainment news, I will be bringing it to you guys, and that's kind of what we're going to start with here. So we're going to jump into these celebrity deaths, and then we're going to talk about the Sag Aftra Strike and all the movie and TV show news that has come out over the last week. So let's take a look. So the first celebrity death here is Burt Young. And anybody my age and older will remember him from the Rocky movies. He was Adrian's brother, and so he did pass away. It looks like he was 83 years old, so he did live for quite a while, and he will be missed. I don't remember the last time I saw him in a movie, so he has been retired for a while, but he just did pass away. All right, so the second celebrity death I'm going to cover here today is Richard Mall. He just passed away as well, and he is most notably known as Bull in Night Court, but he was also a big part of the DC universe with Batman the Animated Series. He did play Harvey Dent and Two-Face, so he will also be missed. It sucks getting older and seeing these icons pass away. And here was the biggest celebrity death over the last week. Matthew Perry from Friends. He played Chandler. He did pass away. He drowned in his hot tub just 2 days ago. And so it was sad to see this come all over social media. He will be missed. He was a very funny individual, and he did have a lot of demons, and he was struggling throughout his life. They do believe that he did die from natural causes and probably had a cardiac arrest while he was in his hot tub, but he will be missed as well. All right, so let's get into some of the movie and TV show news. All right, so what we have here is a poster for, this is probably fan-made, but we do have Cobra Kai Season 6 coming up very soon. Hopefully, as soon as the strike ends, this will release shortly after. I do know they filmed Season 5 and 6 back-to-back, so this should be ready to go. And this will be the final season of Cobra Kai. It will be moving on into getting back into feature films starring some of these same characters. I don't know to what extent, but they do plan on creating a whole Karate Kid universe out there, and this is the final chapter in the TV show moving back into the feature film category. Now, I was originally going to do a Marvel update, but I'm not a Marvel fan. But there was quite a bit of angst amongst the MCU and Disney over the last couple of weeks. And I should have included this on my last update, but it says, Born Again. Marvel has let go of writers and directors of its Daredevil show after being less than enthused by what had been shot so far. The hero doesn't even show up in costume until the fourth episode. The show will now undergo a creative reboot. Daredevil hits reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. Yeah, I will tell you that these Marvel shows, the ones that aired on Netflix originally, they're now on Disney Plus. They're amazing shows. If you haven't seen those, it was the best content that came out of Marvel. Even more so, I think, than the films were. These shows were phenomenal. And apparently, the Daredevil reboot just was missing all kinds of stuff and became more of a courtroom drama. And they let go of their head writer and directors, and they have moved on to bringing in, I believe, the directors and writers of Loki and also of Moon Knight. Moon Knight kind of concerns me because of the way it was directed, but we'll see when this show comes out if it's any good. I don't have high hopes because it is under Disney and Disney Plus now. Now, this goes along with this, and I thought that this was pretty interesting. It said, Vincent D'Onofrio says the reports about Marvel's Daredevil Born Again undergoing a creative overhaul are not actually a big deal, and I would disagree with that. Every cool project I've been involved with has evolved constantly during pre-production, production, and post. not to the point where they get rid of the director and bring in different writers. That is not how this usually works. So this is a bigger deal than he's letting it on to be. Also, it looks like Bernthal is going to be back as Punisher in the Daredevil show. So they are bringing back these characters that were in these shows that were on Netflix, and it'll be good to see him come back. And it looks like he's going to have a larger role than they originally thought. All right, now, for those who didn't know, there is an Alien show that is going to air on Fox, and it says Ridley Scott says the upcoming Alien film is amazing, according to the director. I am very much looking forward to this. I do like the whole Alien universe, and I find it fascinating, and it will be good to see that this is going to continue to live on. I do want to see the third film in Ridley Scott's trilogy that he had planned, and hopefully Disney will allow him to finally make that final film to connect everything. But for now, they're moving on to different directions. There's also an upcoming, he's actually talking about the film. I take that back. There's 2 projects coming. He's talking about the film that's going to be in theaters. And there's also a TV show coming out as well. So we've got 2 different Alien projects. They're both, I think, done filming, if I'm not mistaken. They're in post, but these will not be releasing anytime soon because of the strike. So there is a new video game coming out, and it's in the world of Lord of the Rings, and John Rhys Davies will be reprising his role as Gimli in Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria. So he's coming back to voice that character one more time. So just this coming month, today is October 31st, so in November, Oppenheimer, the home release, is coming in November, and we'll have over 3 hours of special features. I'm looking forward to picking that movie up and seeing, some of the making of and behind the scenes. It was a fascinating film. So we're going to take a look here. For those who didn't know, there is a live-action Avatar show coming out. And they have a gallery here that's going to be on Netflix of some of the characters. Now, I am personally not familiar with Avatar beyond the film that came out by Shyamalan. I do own the series. I bought it on Blu-ray last year, but I have yet to watch it. But we're going to take a look at some of these characters here. So you've got Paul Sun-Hoon Lee as General Iroh, Daniel Dae Kim as Fire Lord Ozai. He's a good actor. I've liked him. I enjoyed him when he was in Hawaii Five-0. Elizabeth Yu as Princess Azula, and Ken Leung as Commander Zhao. And you have Dallas Liu as Prince Zuko. So those are some of the characters that are going to be in the Netflix show that is supposed to be pretty close to the source material. So we'll see when it gets released if it's any good. Also, we have a BioShock film that is in development. It's still in the writing stage, but the production team is very optimistic about it getting released and actually getting filmed. So Matthew Vaughn, who is the Kingsman director, and I believe he did the Kick-Ass movies, if I'm not mistaken, he came out and made some weird statements this last week about rebooting Star Wars. And he says Star Wars has gone wrong, and he'd reboot Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and more. Why are these characters so hollow that from 1977 you can't redo it? Everyone is going to go crazy, but let's bring it on. So he's saying blow it all up, start it all over. And I totally disagree with that. They could just build upon the world they have. They just need to get better writers in there, and Disney needs to get its act straight with the writing and definitely making it more mainstream again. Now, I found this statement by Millie Bobby Brown to be short-sighted. She says that Stranger Things is holding back her career. It says Millie Bobby Brown is looking forward to saying goodbye to Stranger Things as it takes up too much time. Too much time? This show only has like 10 episodes a season, and it's been dragged out almost over the last 10 years now, and she's saying it takes up too much of her time? She's been able to work on other projects. In fact, Stranger Things is what opened the door for her to work on other stuff. So this is kind of like biting the hand that fed you. And I find this to be just completely short-sighted. And at any rate, we know it's coming to a close with the final season that will be released very, very soon. They're working on it, but again, the strike is getting in the way. But the final season of this is coming up. So for her to make comments like this on a show that's ending already, I just find this to be very, very disrespectful. All right, so we're going to talk about Blum. I don't know if it's Blumhouse or Blumhouse right now, but they're a big horror company. And what they're doing is a Spawn reboot. So there is going to be a Spawn movie that will be coming out shortly from this company. And they had a big hit come out this past weekend, and we're going to talk a bit about that here in just a minute. All right, now for those who saw Prey last year, which was a really decent film, some people really liked it, some didn't. I really enjoyed the movie. I actually picked it up on 4K Blu-ray when it just got released this month. And they are making a sequel, and it looks like the sequel is called Prey No Man's Land, set in World War II. So this will be coming out on Hulu sometime in 2024. Now this was surprising, this news right here. Last year on streaming, there was a movie that got released called The Samaritan. And I don't remember what streaming service this was on, but I did watch the movie, and I did enjoy it, although some of it was pretty predictable, but it was still an enjoyable movie. But Sylvester Stallone says that The Samaritan is getting a sequel. And so if you haven't checked this film out, I would go check it out. It is a decent movie, and there is a sequel coming from Sylvester Stallone. Now, I posted a video about this the other day. I have a whole video talking about Snow White, and if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But it says, well, this got released from Disney just the other day. It's the first look at Snow White starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. It is now going to be in theaters on March 21st, 2025, a full year after its original release was expected, because they have to CGI these elves. They didn't originally have elves. They had real people playing these characters, but now they have to use CGI to put them into the film to basically appease the mainstream audience and try to make it more appealing. But this is their newest attempt to try and fix some past errors that they've made. So that was just announced this last week as well. So for those who didn't know, there is a Highlander reboot coming. And it says Lionsgate is planning to move forward with Henry Cavill and Chad Stahelski in their Highlander reboot. So there is a new Highlander movie coming starring Henry Cavill. He's not going to be hurting after getting let go by Warner Brothers in any way, shape, or form. All right, so let's talk about Blumhouse. I don't know however you say it. I'm not a horror fan. But they just released a movie that took the world by storm this past weekend. Five Nights at Freddy's. And the director came out and said there will not be an R-rated cut of this film. Now, I actually had a chance to watch this. It was on Peacock, so I didn't even have to go to the movies to see it. And so I was able to watch it here at home, and I did a movie review on that as well. But we're going to see here how much money this movie made over the weekend. So the domestic take here in the U.S. at Five Nights at Freddy's is now estimated to earn $78 million in its domestic opening. Yes, that's what it made in its opening weekend here in the U.S. Worldwide, it made $130 million in its opening weekend. You want to know what the budget was on this film? $25 million. So it is a bona fide hit, and we will be seeing more of Five Nights at Freddy's in the very near future. And if this is any indication on how they've done horror movies in the past, we will get a new film about once a year. All right, so let's talk about the Sag Aftra Strike. It is still continuing, but there were lots of meetings this past week as they are getting closer and closer to coming to a deal. But it says the AMPTP studios are reportedly willing to push negotiations with Sag Aftra to 2024 if no deal is made to resolve the ongoing actor strike soon. And I've talked about this many times. I know some Sag Aftra members, and they did say that they expect this strike to go into January or February of next year, which will ruin the entire TV show season for this year, and it will absolutely destroy movies for 2024. But I told you the studios are willing to do that, but they are getting closer to a deal. There were some meetings this week, and they are getting very close. They're still sticking with the AI as a sticking point and a few other things. But every time that they meet, they are getting closer to a deal to see if they can, kind of save some of this for this year and next year. But I don't know that it's going to be successful. So, again, I've told people for months that this strike is scheduled to go on for the long term. Now, there were some reports out there that Disney was going to be retiring Mickey Mouse next year. Now, A lot of people may not know this, but the public domain on Mickey is coming to where anybody can sell and have a right to use the likeness of Mickey. But Disney is not retiring Mickey Mouse, still owned by Disney. And he will, this is the one thing I wish they would do is do some more, 2D animated movies. And for people who haven't seen it yet, there's a 100-year special on Disney Plus. I would go check that out. It's like a 15-minute animated short. It's amazing. And I really wish they would get back to doing 2D and bring these characters that we see in this picture back for some animated shorts. It would be nice to see that happen. Now, I found this to be interesting. I can't believe that they're making a Now You See Me 3 film. I saw the first one and thought it was okay. I never saw the second film, but it looks like a third film is happening with Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, and Morgan Freeman. So they are coming back to reprise their roles once again in this franchise. All right, so there wasn't a whole lot of news on, TV shows, but there was plenty of movie news today. And I do appreciate all the support. If you guys haven't already, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up. We will see you on the next video.